Last year at this time, we were in the third of the 3 weeks where home prices dropped in the first of the pandemic lockdowns. So the year over year comparisons are looking super strong right now. And I will show you some of that today. It's Monday, April 12th, 2021. And this is your weekly look at the Altos Research data that came in over the weekend for the entire US real estate market. Each week, Altos tracks every home for sale in the US, all the pricing, all the supply and demand, and we bubble up those analytics to make them available so that you can see the trends in the US housing market before it becomes available to the traditional media channels. If you missed our webinar last week, it's now available. The replay is now available on our YouTube channel. Lots more data, lots of local markets. And by the way, if you are looking for local market data, you can always go to altosresearch.com and just run a report for your local zip code. Median single family home price for the US this week is $375,000. It's up 15% from last year when we were in that third and final week of that pandemic lockdown retraction before prices started marching up for the rest of the year. In this chart here, you can see the seasonal curves in prices. Normally, home prices peak June 30th before they retract in the third quarter as we go into the end of the year. Last year, home prices kept climbing through September. We'll be back on a much more seasonal pattern this year. In fact, if prices ticked up only $1,000 from last week. This shows some signs of price stabilization, somewhat. As I like to point out, any signals this year of the market mellowing out is actually encouraging to me. It's when it's too crazy, it's not good for buyers and even sellers. So a little less nuts is a good thing. None of the signals are bearish. There's no bubble pop or anything. These are just some good seasonal trends as we resume some sort of normalcy in the market. You can see it here in the leading indicator of the price of the new listings too. This is the cohort of properties that get newly listed each week. And because this data leads the market overall, it normally peaks in May, a month before the home prices in general. The price of the newly listed homes this week is $350,000, and it's been at this plateau for 3 weeks now. That's compared to $299,700 last year at this time. And by staying elevated all last year, you can see here, the leading indicator, it really showed how crazy Q1 of this year was going to be. But since we're back on school schedules, the seasonal pattern will be much more normal here too, and we'll see some retraction in the third quarter. As for the active unsold inventory, total homes available for sale this week ticked down to just under 307,000. We haven't reached the trough here yet. There's so much pent-up demand that we're not going to get material increases in inventory for the foreseeable future. I'm just hoping for a little uptick in April or maybe May. Here's a view I introduced last week. This is the immediate sales. Each week, in addition to the active inventory, there's another 25,000 or so single family homes right now that are getting listed, getting offers, and going into contract in a matter of hours or just days. And they're essentially bypassing the active market altogether, at least bypassing the data. They're already sold. So it's so wild to me that, essentially 25% of the market is being sold immediately. And then another 35, 40% is going in just a week. So while prices have stabilized a little bit, this indicator has not. Americans are still buying everything as fast as they can. Q2 is normally the seasonal peak for demand. So the thing to watch here is when the new listings per week starts climbing and this immediate sales number starts shrinking as a percentage, the as we approach the end of Q2, this will like show inventory building a little bit. So again, assuming some normal seasonality starts to resume. So fingers crossed for that. That's all the data we have time for this week. As always, subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay tuned to the data. If you are a real estate professional and you work with buyers and sellers right now, you probably have people worried about timing. Should I wait? Should I hurry? If this is the case, I recommend you go to altosresearch.com right now and just book a demo with our team. We'll show you how you can use the data to really help people in this market. But that's all for this week. More data next week. We'll see you then.